That spooky and haunting music means that it's time again for the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and I'm your Tom, host of Robots.
Perfect.
I mixed those up, didn't I? I am your
right
Robots,
out the gate.
Tom or host, here with my co-Lotus, my host of Doom. Oh no,
There it is.
Language fails me. Welcome everybody. I'm Tom. I'm your host, and this is Lotus of Doom. He's also here. Hi. How's it going? How's it going, Lotus?
I'm pretty well. I was just digging myself. Speaking of spooky music, I've been in Battlespire once again, and that game has a lot of spooky music. Also, it is awesome. So, not the game, the music. The game is not awesome. The game is not awesome.
The music is awesome. Are there sound effects that say things like "Your Pylawn is missing"?
Oh, it's that style of audio, but much screamier.
Well, that's good. But
our Pylawn isn't missing.
Yeah, our Pylawn isn't missing.
Lotus summoned his additional pylons.
You summon additional pylons. So I can't quite do the voice. But welcome, Pylawn, from the UESP, from that website we talk about on like every single episode of the show.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, guys. That's good. I hope so. It's going good. How are you guys doing? This is fun because I haven't done a podcast in almost a month now, so I've entirely forgotten how to talk to people.
Wow. No, you're doing great. You're going to do great.
Fine.
Keep talking.
Using words.
Keep talking. We're just going to keep judging.
I'm using words, and then if I just keep being like, "Ooh, baby," it's just because I don't know what's going on with adult conversation anymore.
Ooh, baby.
Look, if I see you start to zone out, I'll just jingle some keys, and it'll.
Wait.
I'm also part raccoon, so
wait. The phrase "ooh, baby" could mean that you had a baby recently, which you did.
It does mean that I had a baby recently,
or it means that you're just kind of the kind of guy who just talks to people like that. Ooh, baby.
That's how Lotus and I greet each other every morning, actually, which you may not know.
Absolutely.
So, hey, baby, did you get your ESO chair yet?
Yep. And then we just devolve into crying.
Yeah.
Because neither of us have it yet.
No.
That's sad, guys. Man, what a downer. That's a great way to start a show.
Yep. So on a nice down note.
Welcome, stream.
Pylawn's never invited back.
But welcome, everybody. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, stream. We are live at twitch.tv/robotsradio. It is Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we are finishing up our list of named dragons. You guys might remember a few weeks back before our patron episode, we knocked out the first half of this list. And I thought, you know what? Pylawn's a cool guy, and he's also got some other big news. Pylawn, should we tell them?
We should tell these people. Yes, we haven't told everybody yet, so you guys actually get the inside scoop. We're listening to this now.
Pylawn is having another baby.
I literally promised somebody today that I'm doing another project with. I'm like, I promise I will not have another baby between now and Saturday.
Well, that's good. No, that's not the news. The news is, I don't know if you're having another baby or not, but that is not the news. And if I spoiled something, I'm sorry.
No, you did not.
No more babies.
Too soon.
No more. Done.
Yeah.
The big news is that the UESP podcast, the UES podcast, what's the best way to say that?
The UESP podcast, yeah.
Is now a part of the Robots Radio Network. So we're like podcast siblings.
Yeah.
Friends.
Totally makes sense, right?
Yeah, it was one of those things that kind of just it randomly popped into my head one day, and I was like, wait, why aren't we working with robots? And then I messaged Lotus and said the exact same thing. I'm like, why am I not working with robots more? He's like, I don't know, you should.
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that I don't know. I have that thought on occasion. I'm like, why don't people write me more often? To ask me to do stuff with them. We have a huge audience. There's a ton of you guys who listen to this show and a bunch of the other shows, and yet nobody really bugs me. I think maybe they're just, I don't know, they respect me too much. I think that's
scared.
I'm going to chalk that up to. Or I'm just lording over everyone with fear and intimidation, like Mayroon's Dagon. So there you go.
Before I was on any of these shows or really did streaming or anything like that, I was pretty just it was all the podcasts that I listened to. I would just kind of put them on autopilot while I was at work. Yeah. And I would hear something and I would say, I need to respond if they would ask like a generalized question. And I would make a note. And then I would only remember that note when I heard the next episode when they were talking about anybody who did remember. I was like, oh yeah, I never actually did that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's that whole thing. Like you walk under a doorway and all of a sudden your brain shifts to the next thing. Like there's an actual psychological thing that happens with that. It's kind of like that too. You get out of your car, you turn off the podcast, and now you're doing something else. But yeah, reach out to us, friends. If you've got fun things going on, we want to know about it. Like, let us know. Feel free to ask if you want, one of us on the podcast, a guest on your show or whatever. Like, the worst that can happen is we'll just say, sorry, we're too busy. But like, we'd be flattered to be asked. For sure.
I'm not too busy anymore. I don't do anything. Please invite me to do something. I need to talk to adults more. I need to talk to
this
adults.
got dark again.
He will still start his first sentence with, hey, baby. But,
hey, baby.
But that's just habit at this point. So,
hey, baby.
So, friends, now that we've patted ourselves on the back enough, how about we talk about some dragons? We left off last time with Naflilar. Good old Naffy. Yeah, he was the last one we talked about. So we're picking up with another N, and here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to toss out the names. I'm going to do my best. You guys can correct me. I'm going to read the little snippet about this, and then discussion, right? And we've got like a few dozen left. So we're going to try again, just like the first half of this. We're going to try to, especially the ones where there's not a whole lot of info, quick little discussion, maybe a description, talk a little bit about maybe some interaction we had. But if there's not a whole lot to say, moving on to the next one, because some of them there's just not a whole lot to say, and then we've got a bunch to get through. So this is kind of an overview. We're not going to get into like the deep lore about Parthenex or something like that. We'll talk about that another time, but we'll give you an overview of each of these. So let's kick this off. The next on the list is Naslerum. Did I get that?
Naslerum.
The
double A is an ah sound in Dova.
Thank you. This is why we have Pylawn on the show. And last time we were counting how many of these have double letters, and this one has 2 double A's in it. Naslaarum. And Naslerum emerged from the ice of the Forgotten Vale and was slain by the last Dragonborn in the 4th Era 201. Status: slain and soul consumed. Discuss.
So you guys, I will fully admit I have not caught up on the podcast because, as I mentioned before, new baby, and I don't leave the house right now.
Sure, yeah.
Did you, before we go on, discuss a little bit about soul consumed, meaning like dead?
Yes.
Like
let's
all
talk
the other
about
ones,
that.
we touched on it, and I referenced, which people reached out and brought up the fact that they had never considered it as eating the dragons, like I referenced, which is just like, I think that's how I always think of it. But yeah, slain is
it's a wishy-washy term in Elder Scrolls.
It certainly is. And it's hard to really definitively be dead, especially when relating to dragons. So, soul consumed, I would think that you're done. One would not assume that they will be coming back. But if they're just slain, or the description for Calgrantid was exploded, no guarantee that they're totally eliminated.
Except there might be one exception to that we'll talk about later.
Ooh.
See that tease right there? Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
But yes. So if the soul has been consumed, they're dead. They're not coming back. Alduin can't raise them again. If they're just chop off its head or kill it or whatever, they can still be summoned back by a more powerful dragon.
Right. So when we say slain, then that was the last event we know of. As far as we know, they haven't necessarily been resummoned or brought back or anything like that. That was the last event, was that they were killed. But as for the future, we might see them again. Who knows?
So with this dragon, one of the interesting things is we don't actually know the translation of their name. There's a number of them that have been translated into Dova that either like we know definitively what it is, or it's one of like 2 or 3 names, depending on how you mush the syllables together. This one, like I looked and tried to see if I could, and it's they're missing too many words, so I have no idea what the words could be. Like it might be something, but which is interesting. So we don't have an actual translation for what the name means.
Yeah, this is one of those things we talked about on the other show too, is that like sometimes you can kind of make it out and other times you just can't. So,
but there's more that you can make out than you can't. This is one of, I think, 3 or 4 named dragons that you actually just no idea what the name is.
Right. So this one you come across along with Voslarum, and this happens, of course, in Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and is in the Forgotten Vale. And it's one of the ones that guards the word wall. This one for drain vitality. But if you approach this too early in the game, if you're not high enough level, then you can't actually consume their soul and get the shout because it's kind of level gated.
And I think it'll also bug out and show up more than once. If you kill it too early, it'll come back invisible. And then you have to use like detect life or something, if I remember, like to be able to actually kill it. It's wild. That's
terrifying. Invisible dragons. Yeah.
Invisible dragons in your homeland?
That's no good. Why is everything just catching on fire randomly and things are just getting slain and chopped in half and stuff?
Just gusty winds.
Gusty winds and roars in the distance, but I don't see anything. Yeah. Oh, man. That's scary. All right. Anything else about this one, or should we move on?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Next one. We have Navintas. Is that great? Does that seem good?
Yes.
Navintas. I should do it in like dragon sounding.
I should preface this with 9 times out of 10, I'm the worst person to ask for pronunciation of things in the Elder Scrolls. The only reason I know that it's a long sound when there's like the double letters is because I've been told it previously.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. You can't possibly pronounce things worse than I usually do. So
challenge accepted.
So this one, he has a definition for his name, Fury Shining in the dragon language. And I like this guy. I like this guy because he pretends to be a god, and that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
So Navintas pretends to be Alkosh and demands worship. You can come across him in Elder Scrolls Online, and he's kind of a douche. Like he
is a douche. He's especially a douche on hard mode because he's in the Sunspire trial, and then he's extra douche. So, yeah. Lore wise and in game wise, he's not great. Not a fan of Navintas. He's a little brutal.
Yeah.
Extra douche-alicious. All right, so we've got another double vowel with him. So that's another one to add to the list. Lotus.
Yep.
All right, and he attempted to pose as the Khajiit god Alkosh by taking over the Sunspire, killed in its reclaiming, and his status is, as far as we know, slain and not resurrected yet, if at all. Next up, we have Pneumonix.
I just like Pneumonix's name.
It's very simple and straightforward.
Very simple, very straightforward. No mix of 97 duplicate vowels or anything like that. It's just nice, straightforward. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Pneumonix. His story's kind of cool, too.
Yeah, so briefly, he's famous for battling Olaf One Eye atop Mount Anthor, captured and was held in Dragonreach until his death, and died in captivity.
Yeah, and he's kind of okay. This one's a bit of a wild one because there's a story. I can't remember the exact book off the top of my head about him, and they keep talking about the story like he was mean and old. But I'm like, all dragons are very old, and like at one point they're like he got tired and had to like land because he was so old. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
The story, and then apparently they dragged him to Whiterun from where he landed.
He was so worn out.
Like, it's a dragon. Like,
maybe he had like,
I don't get this story.
Maybe he either had some sort of dragon disease, like he got sick and just couldn't defend himself anymore, and they were just like, maybe he's old. I don't know. Or he had like existential dilemmas and was just like, screw it, just drag me away. Well, not he's living anymore.
And then they do say he went like insane in captivity because he was left by himself for so long, except for like Parthenex would sometimes come hang out for a while. Like Parthenex talks about when you visit him that he's like, oh, I went to visit Pneumonix, and we're like, okay,
my poor old friend.
So many questions here. Yeah.
Yeah. His story ends in a strange way.
Yeah.
As opposed to his living version.
Everything's weird.
Yeah, it's very. I was going to say it's very strange. Pneumonix is a peculiar one. Although I actually didn't remember Pneumonix's head is just straight up mounted in Dragon's Reach. I don't remember that, but now as I'm referencing something, I saw the head on the wall. I'm like, oh God, don't recall that.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like a statue, but that's his head. That's his skull. I mean, it's a skull, but like it looks kind of the same color as the wall in the imagery of it.
Yeah,
because the graphics aren't great. I mean, Skyrim's an old game, so.
Right, of course. But I was going to say, it also looks like the meaning of Pneumonix is the now fallen cruelty, or now falls cruelty is what it's referenced as. That's so. I mean, again, that old and crotchety seems to be the trend with Pneumonix here.
Old man Pneumonix at it again. Get off my lawn.
At the Nords to get off his lawn. Yep. That's
oh, Nords, get off my lawn. All right, just drag me away. That's fine.
Seems to be the case.
Yeah. Well, not much else about Pneumonix. Crotchety old man dragon. Let's move on to the next one. We have Odahviing. Odahviing?
Ooh, Odahviing's another cool one.
Odahviing.
Resurrected by Alduin in the 4th Era 201, captured by the last Dragonborn, and was then asked for his aid in return for freedom. Status, alive.
Yeah.
So tell me about Odahviing.
Well, so he's a flip-flopper. If we're talking about, he just was like, oh, well, I'm going to follow Alduin. Oh, no, Alduin's not going to win this one. Okay, I'm over on the Dragonborn side. Like, he kind of just hops around, and then after the end, he doesn't trust. He's like, Parthenex is like, come teach the way of the voice with me, and he's like, nah, you're crazy.
Nope.
It's weird.
Nope, I'm out.
He's all over the place.
I'm out. I just don't want to die. Thanks.
I'm good with whoever wants to keep me alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his name means Snow Hunter Wing.
Yes.
Kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. Just another note about Odahviing, which is one of the reasons that I like Odahviing. Odahviing's Elder Scrolls Legend card is one of my favorites.
Oh, it's super cool.
It's super cool. And then there are, for anybody who doesn't play Elder Scrolls Legends, there are normal versions, and then there are like fancy versions where they have like a shiny graphic to them as well. And his is exceedingly awesome. It's just the Odahviing card
fire
is
and
yeah. So if I do suggest, unfortunately, it's not one of the ones that I have a physical version of. It's not one of the ones they made, but yeah, I would definitely suggest looking up the Odahviing card. It looks very impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I haven't found it yet.
I will link it to you.
Oh, I can send it to you.
Yeah, send me that, and
I'll put it in chat too.
Yeah, put it in chat, and I'll click on it, and then I can probably pull it up as an image. I just have to save it and open it. I don't have a second window ready for that. All right, so he's still alive. Then we have good old Parthenex.
Yay!
Party snacks.
If you've played Skyrim and you played through the main quest line, you probably know Parthenex, but what's worth bringing up about him, guys? Anything in particular?
Everything.
Parthenex
because we could do an entire episode about Parthenex.
Yeah,
right?
Slimmed down, Parthenex is like the fan favorite dragon. Kind of with Nafalar now, but that's only because so many have not experienced Nafalargalargus from Elder Scrolls Redguard.
Right.
You'll think less of him after that game. But prior to that, Nafi definitely has quite the fan base after Elder Scrolls Online. But Parthenex is like the fan favorite dragon of the reformed dragon that was awful and then has helped the humans. And there's the spoiler alert for the potential end of Skyrim, where you are given the choice of killing Parthenex or saving him. And it's pretty much universally accepted that you're an inhuman monster if you were to kill Parthenex.
Yeah. He's like the most badass of the dragons.
Yeah.
And how hard is it to think about that too? Like, how hard is it to get every player to turn against the main faction they've been partnered with during a game? Like in almost any game, if someone's like, yeah, the main faction, these are like been your friends this whole time, you're at the end going to have to say no to them. Everyone's like, no, like I'm going to follow them along. It's like, but then Parthenex is like, nope. Not gonna kill him. So see you later, Blades. Never gonna finish this quest line, apparently.
Yep. Also, should we bring up Parthenex's voice actor? Because that's even of interest.
Yeah. Well, both of them.
I think we mentioned it a little bit last time, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Parthenex is what's his actual name, so I can credit him. Do you know what Mario's name is off the top of your head? Spoiler alert, it's Mario.
Yeah, oh god, it just fell out of my brain.
I know.
That's one of those names I'm going to be like...
Charles Martinet.
Yeah, there
Thank you, Charles. It was like, it's not even a difficult name. Yes, Charles Martinet, or Mario, is also Parthenex, which is really great trivia.
And very different.
Yes. Talk about range.
Let's go! Whiterun!
Do you know the way of the voice? What? He was one of... He's Alduin's little brother and one of his lieutenants, which also then brings into the question of how do dragon family trees work, since they're all brothers?
I guess.
I mean, they're all children of the same father, technically.
Yeah,
right.
So I guess, but he's Alduin's little brother by I don't know how long. He lived up in High Hrothgar after after Alduin was banished by the Elder Scroll, which I assume you guys talked about already.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Without
how Alduin disappeared the first time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He was sent forward in time with an Elder Scroll, which is the best way to get rid of somebody I've ever heard of.
Peace
it's
out.
like, this is future me's problem. It's like just me hitting snooze. So he works with the Greybeards up in High Hrothgar, where he's kind of secretive until the Dragonborn is summoned to High Hrothgar, and that he reveals himself there.
Yeah. Yeah. And due to the ending of the game, his status is unknown.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It depends on what you chose.
Right.
Are you a monster? Are you the worst person ever?
Exactly.
Or did you disagree with the Blades?
Yes.
Yeah, and we don't have another game since then, at least in the timeline.
No.
So
Right,
we
they've never
don't
gone
have
forward,
a canon ending or it was another Dragon Break, so they're all true ending. Like, who knows?
Right.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know who it is. I have tried to go through a game and not and kill him and follow the Blades, and every time I get to it, I'm like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah, I've never actually completed a
Yeah.
storyline where I've killed him.
The whole thing about like what is more noble, to live a good life and be a good person, or be a terrible person that changes their way, or whatever the quote is. It's just so compelling because you go, oh yeah, no, you were born like any of these other dragons, and you, out of sheer will and effort, changed your ways. Like that's the most respectable thing, right? Like,
yeah,
I was a complete douchebag and I've now redeemed myself through hard work.
Right.
Like, that's...
he was a big douchebag. Like his name literally means ambition, overlord, cruelty.
That's what I was about to say. Is
he's at the top of like the people, old party stacks I would not want to hang out with.
The other thing about that, which we kind of, had made joking reference to before, but it's also, even though it is kind of jokey, it also holds some merit where it's kind of just strange when you think about it that their names oftentimes are related to literally what they represent.
Yeah.
So when they're named, it's like, well, you're destined to do this. And Parthenex almost bucks that trend by living up to his name and then shifting and not living. It changed over time. So
yeah, Party Stats 2.0. They changed the recipe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they new and improved, and then in the fifth era they'll go back to the original flavor. So yeah.
Well, there you go. We're going to have to cover him in more detail. I'm sure we're going to get back to Skyrim and some of that stuff in the future. But let's move on because we've got a whole bunch more still. We've got next on the list, Parbalot, which is
great.
Parbalot. Parbalot assisted Thurvukan in Elsewhere, last seen with the Order of the New Moon, and his status is unknown because he allied himself with Thurvukan. He's present when Joramar is discussing the promise of power with Thurvukan, and will fly off with Joramar when you disrupt the Aeon Stone ritual. These are all, of course, events from the Elsewhere expansion of Elder Scrolls Online, and then just doesn't show up anywhere else again. We never see anything else about this one. So, name dragon that just kind of disappears as far as we know.
Yeah, that's all we really know. We know his name translates to ambition, wrath, great.
So maybe he flew off to some other place with ambition that was different from what was going on here, and maybe he's going to show up again. Like, this seems like one of those names that sounds like it's supposed to be important, and then nothing happens with the story. So just like they've done in other expansions and whatever, like, this will be a character potentially that shows up again in like 3 years from now, and we're like, oh, that's what happened to that one dragon that flew off during that thing. Okay, got it. He's lording over some, I don't know, goblins or something. So let's move on. Status unknown on that one. Next we have Papra, not Padre, Papra. Papra?
The dragon I looked at on the list and I was like, I literally know absolutely nothing about this dragon and didn't even know it existed.
So the summary here is lived in the Imperial Battle Spire, killed by the invading Daedra in the Third Era. Status slain. Lotus, do you know anything else about this guy?
Okay, so I did not, and I actually when kind of just going through these really quickly, I missed this. Mm-hmm. Does that mean well, if he was killed by the invading Daedra, he might... Oh my god, no, never mind. I know exactly who this is.
From Battlespire, you should know who he is.
Yeah, no, you encounter him in floor 1. It's his hollowed out skeleton. I didn't know he had a name, but now that you're saying it, so I'll actually see if I can scroll back. I'll try to get a picture of him, and I can put it out on the Twitter for us if anybody's interested. I'll see if I can grab a snapshot. But in one of the rooms in the basement, there's some dead Imperial soldiers and a giant dragon bone husk just on the floor. And this must be who it is. Oh, do you have a picture of him handy?
I have pictures of him, and the skeleton, I say with air quotes.
Nope, this is him. And just like I was saying, there's the Imperial soldier under his face.
Yep. I'm not even going to share the image of this. Just imagine 4 polygons above 3 polygons.
There are at least 6 polygons here.
Yeah, maybe 6 polygons. That's basically it.
Yep.
That's interesting.
That's true. I never realized that he was a named dragon, I guess. I just was like, oh, there was a dragon here. Interesting. And then was moved on in my confusion. But yeah, how about that? All right. So that's who it was.
Also notable is the lack of double vowels or consonants.
Yes, it's in the rare category of non-doubled up letters.
Also a fun tidbit I saw from the UESP when I saw this one today is the Battlespire game engine couldn't render letters that had accents on them, so it spelled his name wrong in the game.
What? So how did it spell it?
Because it's got an accented E at the end.
Oh,
but it just spelled it Papr with like PAPR. And it couldn't actually render the final E.
So it was supposed to be like a
Papre
with the E with a little...
that's called. Accent.
That's pretty fun. I'm trying to remember. I'm guessing, it's got to be on the scroll that was by him or something. That's fascinating.
But it couldn't actually render it. That's so funny.
That's amazing. That's great. That kind of stuff is always fun to find out.
See, and once again, my sufferings in Battlespire all come to fruition.
It's all paying off. Suffering pays off in the long run.
All paying off.
So let's move on. Similarly, this one does not have a double consonant or vowel, at least in the same, right next to each other. Relonikiv. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I like Relonikiv.
Yeah. So Relonikiv killed by Mirak for his power in the 4th Era 201 while battling the last Dragonborn, slain and soul consumed.
Oh, so this was one of the ones that you're just in the final boss fight that Mirak eats for.
Yeah, he's like,
nom. He's like, give me some more of that yummy dragon. Yeah.
See, I think of it more as if they were like slurping like noodles. Like that's how they.
Oh wow! I would think they'd be crunchy.
Well, so,
you think soul is crunchy?
So wait. We're discussing two very different things. I think what Pylawn is saying is that like the magic flowing out is like noodles, right? You're like,
yeah,
but just kind of slurping in all the noodles. Lotus is talking about actually eating the dragon.
Well, you gotta get into the meaty bits of the soul, which they're all covered in scales, which I think you'd need to crunch through, and it's kind of like a gusher. Have you ever had those?
I remember gushers.
Well, think of like really stale gusher where it would like crunch, but then there's the gooey inside. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't like this at all.
This sounds terrible. This is really bad. What's the gushy part? Like blood? Like what is that?
No, that's the soul.
It's their soul. Obviously. Come on.
Oh no.
Follow the analogy. It's airtight.
This makes me uncomfortable. All right. Well, on that note, we need to go thank our patrons so I can think about something else. We'll be right back with the rest of the dragons.
The skies are marked with numberless sparks, each a fire, and every one a sign.
Holy crap. How is it the middle of the show already? Well, it's the middle of the show already. This is what happens when you get three of us together to talk about dragons. Time just flies by. But thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you for helping to support the show. Special thanks to Jared B., who is our tier 6 Akatosh. He's not actually pretending to be a god. He has actually mantled that god through the use of Patreon. You guys didn't know that Patreon was that powerful. It is. Ooh. It is. And Noodle Al Dente and Stephen R., who are our Daedric Princes, our tier 5 patrons who get thanked every episode. But thank you to all of you guys. There are 49 of you. Thank you so very much. I would love to see if we could hit 55 by the end of the month. That's kind of my little goal for myself. And you know what else, guys? I would love to find out if there are any other rewards that you guys get from different kinds of Patreons that you've noticed out there that you would be interested in me adding to the Patreon. I'd love to give you more things if possible. So let me know if you have any thoughts about other stuff that I don't currently have on the list, and I will consider adding it. And if you aren't a patron already, go check it out. Patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and you can sign up for as little as $1 if there's any of those slots available, but the other slots aren't that much more expensive, and you get ad-free episodes and early episodes and even other stuff. There's a whole bunch of other things, so all the other tiers. It's really easy to sign up, and just go check it out. See what you think. All right, everybody. Thank you for helping us out, patrons. You guys are the best. Let's move on with the rest of the dragons.
Yes, you're entirely brilliant. Conquering madness and all that. Blah, 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 blah.
All right. Thank you, Sheogorath. Let's move on. Who do we have next? We have... So, wait, this is 3 in a row without double consonants or vowels.
Go for one more.
Go for it.
Connect for.
Salakner. It's not near.
Salakner.
It's ner.
Salakner.
Sir Lochner. Resurrected by Alduin in the 4th Era 201, killed by the last Dragonborn and the Blade Delphine while attacking the village of Kynesgrove, slain and soul consumed. This guy just kind of looks like a normal, kind of grayish, purpley dragon with a bunch of spikes on his back.
Is this the first named dragon we run into after Alduin in Skyrim?
No.
It's not the one that you go out with Daff. Or was it?
No, that one was earlier in the list.
What's his name?
We talked about him already.
Yep.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember.
But I'll find it. It's hard. I'll find it, and then we'll. But anyway,
this one's name means Phantom Sky Hunter, though.
Yes.
That's a fun name.
I like that. That's a cool name.
Yeah. There's not too much else to say about him, though. Huh?
No, it's just a cool name. That's the high point.
It's an everyday, average dragon.
Yeah, just an average, everyday
Thanks
dragon.
for coming out, Saw Lochner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, do something cooler next time. Oh wait, you can't because they consumed your soul.
Because your soul has been consumed.
Was it Molmanir? That was the one, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Molmanir. He was the guy you kill at the tower after you get to Whiterun.
Yes.
Yep. All right, next on the list we have Sarotar. And that one has 2 A's in the tar part. Killed and consumed by Mirak while battling the last Dragonborn in the 4th Era 201 status. Slain and soul consumed. So, another one of the Mirak casualties.
And he was a really cool one because he's the one that's like more like snake-like.
Yeah.
Like he's like more of like a worm. If I was like WYRME.
Right, which is very Tolkien-esque in his development of dragons. The head is very smooth, and there's not really spikes or gills or anything else. So very, very smooth. He's got like a big fin along his back, kind of a deep blue color, but kind of this like snarling face with an underbite.
Yeah,
kind of almost like
he's cool though. I like the
eel,
look.
kind of an eel shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he was killed and consumed by Mirak. His name means either mighty servant or phantom word servant. Mighty servant probably makes more sense.
Yeah, phantom word makes me feel like he's like Hermaeus Morris's like buddy.
Yeah, I don't think he's that.
I think that's the case.
I don't think so, unless that was Hermaeus Mora's gift to Mirak.
That was my only thought, because
it's like, they are in Apocrypha, and it was like, oh, here, if you ever get weak, eat this, and it's just like.
But like they're born with their name, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
That would be rough if he was born and they were just like, you know what? Dinner. We're just going to name you Dinner. That's fine. Like, that'll probably work out.
Yeah. Well.
So.
Yeah. Not much else about him.
Not really.
Move on to the next one. This one does not have double letters. Sarotnax.
That's relevant.
That sounds like some like Sarotnax. I don't know. It sounds like I don't know, some other language. Somebody's cussing you out. Like, you're a Sarotnax. Like, it's I don't know. Captured by a group of vampires known as the Hollowfang clan, the rogue dragon guard Grundwolf attempted to drink his blood to become Dragonborn. Died from blood loss. Slain.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this one?
This is interesting because this would be the dungeon we had made reference to the Lair of Marsalok dungeon. Well, this is the other dungeon from the that expansion, and it's called Moongrave Fane, and this is the end boss. He's basically trapped under a pile of rubble, and throughout the fight they kind of just drain him. A lot of blood in that fight throughout that whole dungeon in general. And when you complete the boss fight, just kind of lets out a wail and flops over dead, crushed under everything.
Because he had been injured previously in the main quest.
Right.
And he fell from the sky and landed in this spot.
Right. So he had kind of a rough out.
And then a bunch of vampires had literally the worst idea I've ever thought about.
Interestingly enough, though, with dragons being so powerful, different approach for them to be like, hey,
it's a new idea.
Maybe we could just take his blood.
Maybe.
Let's go. No, that definitely wasn't a good plan.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it sounds like a bunch of like college guys like at like 2:00 in the morning. We're like, wait a minute, guys. You know what would work? If we drank dragon blood, we'd become dragons.
Exactly.
Whoa, totally. Are you sure about that? Yeah, dude, I saw it.
Yeah, man, I saw it.
I saw it.
It's just science.
What? You saw it? Yeah, I totally did.
It's totally gonna work, man.
Like yesterday. It was awesome.
That's where I got the idea.
That's where I got the idea. Remember that guy Joel? Yeah, totally a dragon now.
Yeah, totally a dragon now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Don't even worry about it. We got this. All right.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it didn't work.
Yeah, it did not work.
Not even close.
And Joel is not a dragon or a dragonborn. Poor Joel just got eaten by the dragon.
None of those
That's all
things
that
happened.
Yes, poor Joel.
If I remember correctly, too, doesn't like the dragon just be like, this doesn't work? Like, I'm trying to remember his dialogue from the dungeon, but he's just basically like, no.
Yeah, no, pretty much it was implied, like, it was trying to get the point across that it was like, this is not going to do what you think it does. And, I mean, it jacks them up a little bit, the vampires, but they also get the crazies, so, and then they kind of overload and you ideally put them down if you beat the dungeon.
There needs to be a spell in the next Elder Scrolls called the Crazies.
The Crazies?
So you just give something the Crazies, and they're like, ah.
It's like one of my favorites with Astral Vapors from Oblivion.
There you go. All right, next on the list, we're back to double letters. Shulkanak. Yep. A dragon in hiding sought out by a Blades member for information on an Ayleid king. May or may not have been battled for this information. Status alive. This one's interesting because it comes from the Blades game.
Yeah.
So you can find him in a cave complex, and basically you're trying to get information about the Sorcerer King Calamaril. Celamaril? C-E-L-E?
Celamaril sounds high elfy or Ayleidy.
It does, yeah. Celamaril, yeah. That's very kind of Tolkien-esque too.
Yeah.
And you encounter him during the quest Facing the Dragon. Now, I haven't found anything about his name. About what his name means.
No, I don't think we have any idea what it would mean.
Solkunak. It sounds dragony.
Shulk. Too, like it's weird.
Shulkanak.
Yeah, I don't think we know what it translates to because it's we don't have that word, and then we also just can't really. Let me look into the talk to see if anybody's discussed it. But I think we just don't know it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shulk. There's no translation for the shulk part. So
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait for more.
We'll make it up
about that. It means what is the
secret Blades dragon?
What does the Unak mean? Do we know?
I'm trying to pull up the Dova language.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to the next one while you look it up.
The Dova language thing is a little rough sometimes. Getting the translations because it's not really. It's kind of like bits and pieces. Sometimes you kind of have to use your own interpretation because I actually just realized from the previous one that we literally just talked about with good lord,
Sarotnax.
Yeah, Sarotnax. I was going to say that was Phantom World Cruelty. I feel like the trend or Mighty Cruelty, like the trend is cruelty is really a phrase they enjoy in Dragon. They just love being
Did you
cruel.
consider that, Pylawn, when you were naming your new baby?
Yeah.
I did consider cruelty as a name, but
I tried when we were getting ready to have my son, I tried to convince my wife to go with the name Optimus Prime Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
She was
it went over well.
She was like,
right?
no, we didn't go with it. And I was like, that is the most alpha male name you could possibly have. I don't know what's wrong with you.
But then the initials are OPTR and it just doesn't flow.
Yeah. So instead we named him Extreme Cruelty to World.
Yeah. We just went with that instead. All right. Well, let's move on with the next one. We've got Thurvukan. Thurvukan. Once dwelled. This guy's got kind of a record going for him, or at least I don't remember if if we talked about somebody else who had this issue before. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's discuss this. So Thurvukan once dwelled in the ruins of Fang Lair, slain by adventurers in the first era, but was brought back to life and slain again in the second era. Slain twice. Good times.
That's a rough way to go multiple times.
So he's the really interesting one because you see him in Elder Scrolls Online, but you only kind of see him because you're fighting his bones essentially, which have been brought back to life with like necromantic powers.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's hot debate apparently about whether or not ripping, because the part of raising a dragon again that another dragon can do has to do with like reuniting their soul and their body together and bringing them back up. But when you rip the soul from the body, or the way the necromantic arts work in the Elder Scrolls, we don't actually know if they'll still be able to. It's a debated thing of like, well, no, because they've been separated so much, the soul is basically doesn't exist anymore.
Right. It's just like an automaton of its body without anything else in it. So is it really Thurvukan anymore?
It's more.
At what point do you change enough planks on the boat that it's not the same boat, you know?
Right.
Ooh, philosophy going on now.
That is not a good analogy for this, but
no, but
you take the mind or the spirit out of the thing and you just leave its body. Is it even the same thing anymore, right?
Is the spirit there anymore?
Right.
Yeah.
And recently spending a lot of time in that dungeon in ESO, farming achievements out of it and gear. Thurvukan really is much more of a marionette in that fight as opposed to having anything like Orin the Black, the necromancer in question here, is blatantly controlling everything about like that. The dragon has no will of its own. It is literally just the skeletal husk doing its bidding, trying to kill you, so Orin doesn't have to do it himself. So
it's not a bad plan, no, it's a pretty
throw
an animated dragon.
Oh, if I could get an animated dragon,
that's a good guard dog,
Absolutely.
And you control it, so not a bad option. So so died twice or died once, and then body was resurrected and then destroyed. Could be another explanation. Let's see. Next on the list, Volokzin. Hid from the Dragon Guard in a dormant volcano. I love this. He makes a home in a dormant volcano. Used Rabid Kwama as an extra defense. Killed by the Vestige and Saisahan in the Second Era. So obviously this is part of ESO. Their Elsewhere expansion. You guys have any thoughts on this one?
I mean, other than hiding in a volcano is the most dragon thing I can imagine. It's like way to be a stereotype.
That's pretty dragon right there.
But cool at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's just, but that's definitely pretty dragon.
It's pretty dragon.
That's pretty dragon. That's so dragon.
Yeah. There's a TV show called That's So Dragon. It's for teenage dragons who watch the Dragon Channel. Yeah.
Also, did we mention what Thurvukan's name meant? Did I miss that?
Oh yeah, Overlord Shadow.
Overlord Shadow. So that's interesting. I don't really know what that would have to do with anything other than maybe. Yeah, no, I
he's
don't.
Overlord. Even the shadows.
I guess
over the shadows because inside the volcanic mountain are lots of shadows from all the lava.
Volcano, the volcano guy, Volokins, is spring, rise, or sky, like the one word has both, honor, or guardian honor.
Oh,
but that seems unlikely.
Which one was Lotus saying?
Thurvukan.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So he's like spring sky honor, which is also interesting because he's hiding in a volcano.
Yeah,
that's very honorable. Yeah.
It's very honorable in that volcano.
And has a lot to do with the sky and spring.
The spring.
I know.
Maybe
remember
went against his destiny.
Remember earlier when we said they seem to be acting out whatever their name suggests?
Yeah.
Well, here we go. The exception to the rule.
Or what we really are just overlooking here is the ash from the volcano helps nurture the ground around Morrowind so that in the spring, everything's extra verdant.
And he's honorable by helping the people of Morrowind eat food every year by making sure the volcano brings new ash to the land.
And
that's it.
What volcano did he hide in?
Well, I would assume Red Mountain. Just like one of the little offshoots. I mean, there's like all those little caves and crap around it.
I mean, he's killed by the Vestige in Saisahan. So is this in Elsewhere?
He comes back.
Well, I always just assume. Wait, yeah. Actually, I guess that's a point because I was just thinking that originally.
Red Mountain. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good point. Also, that's from Birch Games in chat. Maybe it's just springs of lava. We're just assuming a spring means like, it's a water.
Yeah.
Like you could have a spring.
He's really energetic. It's like boing, boing, and they're like, man, you're like bouncing up like a spring.
Okay, yep. See? So maybe his name means more than we realize.
Yeah. The Dormant Volcano is near the coast of southern Elsewhere.
Yeah, you're right. So my assumption was just obviously where would it? Yeah, so I don't know what volcano that would be.
It's in northern Elsewhere.
It's dormant, so maybe just look at the mountains.
So it wouldn't be as overtly because my thought when you're thinking like volcanoes, I immediately defaulted to Vardenfell, and I'm like, oh wait, this isn't where this is.
There's also one volcano there. I think everybody would notice. And
that's what I mean. I was like, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard to find him.
Right. All right, let's move on with this one. We've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. And about 18 minutes because I got to get ready for the Dungeons and Dragons lorecast, which is coming next, and we're talking about gold and silver dragons in D&D. So this is going to be a night of dragons.
It's like the year of the dragon.
Year of the dragon. So let's see if we can make it through the rest because I think we can. So next is Vinturuth, which has 2 eyes. Is resurrected by Alduin in the 4th Era 201, killed by the last Dragonborn near Lake Yorgrim in that same year, slain and soul consumed.
I mean, generic dragon that you kill on quest. I mean, unfortunately, there's a couple of these coming up that it's just, here is dragon, you murdered dragon.
His name's got he's got a cool meaning. Hammer Rage?
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
That's cool. A pretty good one.
Yeah. He's a very dark gray, blackish kind of dragon, too. So, very intimidating.
I honestly, though, don't even remember him from Skyrim. From any playthrough I've had. I don't remember ever seeing him.
I assume it's one of the many of the myriad of dragons, and I'm like, out of my way. I'm busy doing something meaningless, and I just like cut it down, eat it, and then just move on.
Eat it. All right, so next on the list is Voslarum, 2 A's, Voslarum, lived beneath the ice in the Forgotten Vale until 4th Era 201, emerged only to be slain by the last Dragonborn, slain and soul consumed. So guess what? He slept under the ice, woke up, and then was murdered.
Yeah.
With his buddy. Or brother, I guess.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, the one Naslerum, who we talked about before.
Yeah.
So, basically,
really
same situation.
To much.
Yeah, same situation for each of those. Then we've got Voljotnok. This sounds like another insult. Revived by Alduin in the 4th Era 201, killed in the wilds of Skyrim by the last Dragonborn in that same year, slain and soul consumed as well.
He may have my favorite name meaning, though.
Okay.
Of every dragon. Dark Maw Eat.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
Does he eat the Dark Maw? Does he go to the Dark Maw to eat? Who knows?
Maybe his maw is dark when he eats.
That's I feel like that would be my dragon name because I'm never full.
Dark Maw. I'm just a mouth. Eat.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, he's not. His site on the map isn't marked, but you can find him in the northeast of Sunderstone Gorge and southwest of the Sleeping Tree Camp.
Yeah, unfortunately, his name seems like the most memorable part about him.
Yeah, otherwise not too much to know. You just kind of fight him and steal his soul. All right, next on the list, Volthuriol, stuck inside a Dwemer artifact or artificial sun in Blackreach, may have been placed there by a Dwemer time anomaly, summoned and eliminated by the last Dragonborn in the 4th Era 201, slain and soul consumed. So
this one's very cool. This is the secret dragon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
They had to get by shouting at the artificial sun, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the one, above the like high up in the Blackreach Cave. This was very cool, and I didn't know about this for the longest time.
I don't think I ever came across him in game.
No, this is a pretty cool little Easter egg.
He's very cool, yeah.
Yep. Fight, I don't remember being overly difficult. It's just kind of a cool little thing you can find if you know what to look for, type of deal.
He's got a cool name too. Dark Overlord Fire. Ooh.
It's a lot of overlords too.
Yeah.
Well, they're all trying to take control of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of do try to lord over humans a lot.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, Blackreach though is still one of the best, like my favorite like surprises in Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I had strayed from the main quest, so I hadn't got to the part where I was supposed to go there. And it was just like, and went inside like a bandit cave, and then like it was like, oh. And then I like accidentally summoned a dragon in there, and then like he's cool because he's one of the dragons that's got like a set script, so he only flies a little bit and then he lands and then he can't fly ever again.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, 2 left. We have Yar Grundu, who was killed by Latvilon for refusing to aid him. His body was raised and used against the reformed Dragon Guard, but who put him to rest, and therefore he is slain.
Yeah.
His life sucks.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Really just...
Yeah,
that's really all there is.
Dragon's like, come help me. He's like, nah, okay, dead. Oh,
yeah, dead.
Now I'm gonna use your body. Now that I've raised you, I'm gonna use your body to do it anyways, even though you refuse.
Yeah.
And his body kind of looks lame. He's kind of just this dark brown color, and he doesn't have any particularly interesting spikes or talons.
Nope.
He eventually gets glowy eyes.
That's true. That's how you know he's possessed.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, very, very forgettable, unfortunately. He's like a tragic character.
Yeah, so not too much else about that one. And then the last one on the list, we have Yolnakrin.
Yes.
Attacked Sunspire and attempted to appear as an aspect of Jode, killed in the reclaiming of the temple, slain. So, spoilers. So elsewhere stuff, but
yes, this is the other dragon. There are 3 dragons that you fight in the Sunspire trial. This would be the third one, the one we hadn't mentioned, and this actually drops one of my favorite sets in the game currently.
He's got a great
Yolnakrin set.
Yolnakrin set's awesome. Good tank set.
Yep, it's a very good tank set if you play tank. Strong suggestion.
Necomod in chat says most dragons are depressing.
That's not wrong. And also in his situation, it's Fire Vengeance would be his translation of a name, which totally makes sense because you're in a pool. Well, you're basically fighting with a lake of boiling oil around you, and he's super fire intense. So that's kind of his shtick.
It's so convenient that Sunspire just happened to have this pool of molten oil and lava for him to land in to fight.
Yep.
To be like, hey, this matches my name. I'll set up shop here.
Yep, I like this.
Yeah, and he's got this like deep red color. So
yes,
he's fire.
He's really pretty.
Around.
He's a very pretty dragon.
Yes, similar to Nafi, but not quite as vibrant. It's more of a muted red, like a darker red.
Like a crimson, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, cool looking stuff. But that's it. That's it for our dragons. Do we have
yes.
Did you keep a running list of double letters?
I did, and hopefully I didn't screw it up.
All right.
It looked like we had 25 dragons with at least a double letter. I did not double count them. So if they had at least one double letter, vowel or consonant, we had 25 of them, and there were only 14 dragons that did not have some type of double letter. So it is a trend with dragons to double up on your consonants or vowels at least once in your name.
Yeah, if not twice. You know, guys like Navintas have it twice.
Yeah.
Naslerum, yeah. There's a number of them with double. Well, that's it, friends. We made it through all the named dragons in 2 episodes.
We did it.
Pylawn,
that we know of now.
Yeah, who knows? We might get more in the future. You never know.
Right.
Because they could
this
just
get... This is a cool little tangent. I enjoyed this to break up. I was enjoying, going through the divines, but this was a great post from the Reddit. So I enjoyed just kind of browsing through all of these.
Right. This, again, if you missed the first episode of this, go back a few episodes. You can listen through the first half. This was all inspired by a post I saw on Reddit by the user SignalFlare12, who posted
Yes.
on the TAS lore subreddit, and took the time to just kind of consolidate all these names in a big list with a little bit of description behind each. And so we took that and we said, hey, let's do an episode on these, or two, and that's where this came from. So, but we'll be back next week with our return to the Divines. I think we're on the 5th. I think we've done 3 or 4. I'll double check. We'll do the
I believe we've done 3. I think the next one will be 4.
Yeah, so we'll do the 4th of the 8/9 Divines. And so we'll be back with that. And Pylawn, thank you for joining us. This has been
Thank
super
you for
fun.
having me.
Hanging out, chatting about stuff.
Yeah. And instead of just referencing the UESP, now we have a part of it here for this episode.
There you go.
We're here.
So how can people get a hold of you and check out your stuff?
For me, well, now you can find me on the Robots Discord in the unofficial Elder Scrolls podcast channel. You can find me basically on any social media platform. You can find myself, Pylawn, Pylawn. I'm all over the place there. If you can think of a social media platform, I'm probably on it. Otherwise, you can find the podcast on any podcast network or podcast catcher that you have. So just search for the UESP or UESP podcast. Even just search Elder Scrolls, you'll probably find us there.
Yeah. Yep. They show up on the lists right close to where we are on most of the lists. So you'll be able to get both. You can check out both things. And well, we look forward to talking again soon. I'm sure we'll make this a thing, and we'll get together.
Well, I think we're talking again on Sunday, Tom. So
well, then we've got that. So I'll be joining you on your show, but at some point in the future, you need to come back and join this show. We'll make this kind of
we'll keep
thing.
going back and forth.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that too. That'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Let's see. Anything else? I don't think I have anything other news. Lotus, you got anything going on?
Not really. Ideally, we'll record Tales this weekend over at Tales of Tamriel, but otherwise, no. There's an event in ESO. It just started today. It kind of came out of nowhere. Double experience, double gold if you play Elder Scrolls Online. Double crafting things. It does not apply to if you save your crafting surveys. So don't think you're going to outsmart them, because that doesn't work like that. But double goodies for the next week if you play Elder Scrolls Online. Take advantage of that. It kind of came out of nowhere. But otherwise I've just been kind of busy and haven't been able to do too much. Hopefully I'll be able to stream again soon. But if you're ever looking for me, I'm Lotus of Doom pretty much anywhere that I have an account as well.
There you go. And everybody knows how to get a hold of me. I'm at robots_radio on Twitter. And you can always just jump on the Robots Radio Discord. In fact, that's the best place to find any of us. You can just jump on there, go into one of our channels about one of the shows, and post what you think about maybe one of the episodes or whatever you want to talk about. It's a wonderful place for you to get in touch with us, and also join the 1,400 plus other people on that Discord channel chatting about all the things that we love to talk about. And that's what we got going on for this episode. I will be back in about 20 minutes with the D&D Lorecast, which we're talking Gold and Silver Dragon. So you can check that out live if you're in chat. Stay tuned for that. And if you haven't checked out the Dungeons and Dragons Lorecast yet, and you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, then you can always look that up as well. All right, guys, thanks for joining. We'll talk to everybody later. Thanks, friends. Thanks for being here. Until next time, don't summon any dragons. Usually doesn't turn out too good.
Or give him a cool name.
Yeah, or if you do, give them a cool name. Wait, what? We don't name dragons. That's not how that works. All right.
Nope, it's too late.
See you later. Thanks for listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. If you have something you'd like to contribute to the show, please reach out to us at elderscrollslorecast@gmail.com or on Twitter @ESO Lorecast. I really appreciate you listening, and I'd love to hear from you soon.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.